Welcome back to the Ascended Podcast. I don't think each one of you should necessarily be here tonight. The topics we're going to cover are not for the common person. You will be excluded if you force yourself to listen. I'm going to talk about intellectual strategies, the way our world works, the inner workings of what the elites use to control everything. And if your brain is not meant to comprehend this, I'd rather you politely see yourself out now and not challenge yourself. Because for each one of you that needs to ask questions, that needs to double, triple back on these words that are about to be spoken to you, it distracts and detracts from our purpose. And understanding that the limitations of who will be allowed to join this movement is high. Most of you won't make it, and that's fine. I'm not here to find everyone. I'm here to find you to the next episode. Life is a game. That's not motivational talk. That's mathematics. Every choice you make, whether where to work, who to trust, and whether to build or to consume, is a move on the game board. Is that most of you don't even know the game that you're playing. That's what game theory is. The science of strategy in competitive environments. It could be inside of a board game, or it could be geopolitical tensions between nation states. It's why some nations rise and others fall. It's why your favorite football team wins and your favorite basketball team loses. Strategy. It's why certain businesses dominate, entire industries collapse, the competitors vanish during the process. We're gonna go all the way in. This is not a masterclass. It's a true doctrine of teaching. It's not the YouTube version. This won't be public. This is real inner workings of how reality is formed. By the end, you'll not only understand game theory, you'll see, and I'll show you how ALTURA was designed using it. And you realize, more importantly, why playing alone in this world is suicide. If you don't know the rules of the game, I want to start with the most famous example tonight, the prisoner's dilemma. I'll paint this situation. Two criminals are arrested. Each has two options after being brought into an interrogation room. First, betray the other. Rat out your friend. Explain what he was doing that was wrong, and therefore lighten your sentence. Or stay silent. If both betray each other, the crime is fully confessed, and they both get punished accordingly. If they both stay silent, neither rats on the other, they may both go free. If one betrays the other, and the other stays silent, and the betrayer goes free, well, the silent one gets crushed under the weight. The logical move. Most should almost always betray one another. But the optimal move in this case is cooperation, the greatest effect for the greatest number of people. This is the story of human history. Nations betray other nations for short-term power. Businesses betray customers for short-term profit. Individuals betray themselves for short-term comfort. And I see that happening all the time. It's why people sell each other out for a paycheck, building something lasting. It's why business partners turn on each other, why industries collapse, and why teams fall apart. It's why companies chase quarterly profits instead of a long-term vision, and why you give up on your dreams so easily. Society looks the way that it does. Everyone choosing betrayal over cooperation. Most people sell out for scraps, and then they wonder why they never win big. Let me walk you through a scenario. We're here in the modern era. We have great technology, political comfort. We're not at war. It's tense. Crazy has happened. We haven't sold each other out completely. But to get to this point, throughout all of human evolution, all of human progress, cooperation had to happen. Businesses wouldn't function. People wouldn't go into work because they wouldn't trust one another to pay you a paycheck. There had to be a level of cooperation to produce everything that the world had in some way. Now we're at a stage where tension is higher than ever. What's in it for me is being asked constantly, and therefore betrayal could potentially be the next all-time highest trait. That leads to societal collapse 100% of the time. And we are approaching that faster than ever. So if you're doing something else tonight and you're hearing me speak, because nothing that you could be doing right now is more important than what I'm about to tell you, I want to tell you guys the twist in this. Life isn't as simple as an interrogation room. It's not a one-round game. It's an iterated game, over and over and over and over. You don't just play the prisoner's dilemma once. You don't make your decision and never see that person again. You have to continue interacting, whether that's a relationship, coworkers, family, business partners, associates, mentors or mentees, teammates, any other facet of life. You played this game every day. Did I lie to my partner, or do I stay loyal? Do I screw over the client for quick money, or do I build trust in years of business and count on others to see the work I'm putting in? Do I chase dopamine for one night, or do I build a discipline for a lifetime? And here's what game theory shows us time and time again. In iterated games, the winning strategy is always long-term cooperation. In fact, there's a substantial difference with a significant differential between games that win and games that lose in terms of points scored. That's why reputation matters. That's why trust compounds over time. That's why Jeff Bezos could run Amazon at a loss for years because trust in the system builds infinite payout later. You are choosing to ignore the past results of betrayal and cash back in on cooperation. And systems that tend to forgive tend to do better in the long run. Short-term betrayal feels like a win, but in infinite games, it guarantees that you lose. Infinite games reward builders, but finite games always reward gamblers. I'm going to talk you guys through a famous study that was done, I believe in the 1980s or 90s, at the University of Michigan. They had computer programs compete against each other in a simulated version of the prisoner's dilemma. Computer programs were submitted from all across the country, I believe, and also the world, to square up against one another and submit their programs in a friendly duel. The programs could choose to cooperate or defect. Just like the prisoner's dilemma, they would score higher points for defecting, less for cooperating, and this game would last between 190 and just over 200 rounds, averaging at about 200. The best programs that were submitted tried various strategies. Some would randomly defect every time. Some would cooperate and 1/10 of the time defect. Some would just do whatever it thought best and continue defecting, trying to pull one over on their opponents. The ones that won, and the particular one that did the best, was named tit for tat, this for that. What it meant and the way it worked is that whenever its opponent would cooperate, tit for tat would choose to cooperate. The next round, if the opponent continued to cooperate, it would get continued cooperation from tit for tat. If the opponent defected, then in the next round, tit for tat would immediately defect. And so regardless of what happened, tit for tat would either score points, result in no points, canceling each other out. I believe that after that, the opponent would either continue defecting or it would realize that the best route from that point forward would be cooperation. And so if the opponent's move after the defection from tit for tat was cooperation, tit for tat would go back to cooperating. So essentially, tit for tat read the last move and judged its actions accordingly. And several iterations later, amidst the whole tournament, researchers tried different things. They lengthened the amount of rounds, they changed the types of competitors in the game, and tit for tat continued to win. This taught researchers three main things. Being nice always pays, and it always wins in the long run. So be nice first. Cooperate. Systems that cooperate will always do better than systems that don't. And third, retaliate. Don't be a pushover. If your opponent tries to play one over, immediately strike them back. Now, I will note that tit for tat never won. It never won a single match. The best it could do was draw, because if the opponent never defected, tit for tat would match their cooperation the whole way through, but never actually pull one over on their opponent, beating their score. But in the long run, over multiple games and scoring from a cumulative cooperation amidst several relationships or square-offs with different opponents, aka simulating how our life works, interacting with different people, businesses, teams, systems, tit for tat scored the most points, putting it in first, which tells you you may not win in the short term. You're almost never guaranteed to win by cooperating. But in the long run, the connections, the networking, the assistance you get from good relationships will compound. And being nice but retaliatory upon harm always puts you in the best position. I want to take this further. There's two kinds of games, finite and infinite. Finite games have winners and losers. Football, basketball, probably croquet. There's a scoreboard. There's usually, in team sports, a final buzzer. Think sports, poker, even wars. Infinite games, they don't end, quite literally in the definition. The goal, therefore, isn't to win. And that is the problem most people have. Tit for tat's goal wasn't to win. It didn't measure success on achieving a dub in one iteration. Tit for tat's goal was to maximize points in the long run. Just like one country's goal isn't to maximally impact its relationship with one country, but to achieve the best world and global relationship and power. The goal is to keep playing. Economies, culture, ALTURA, as you'll soon find out. Most people live finite lives. They chase a paycheck. They fight over promotions. They try to beat their neighbor. But the elites, they don't play that way. They don't look at the short term and make decisions based off that. It's data, but it doesn't affect their strategy in the long run. If a stock is down that day, they don't panic, they don't sell, they don't cash in at a loss. They adjust their long-term strategy and continue playing the game with the information. They play infinite. They build dynasties, they build wealth, and they build systems that outlast even them, that can be passed down and inherited. And over several generations, over several iterations, and in the long run, if after enough playing time and enough rounds, the rich continue to win. And so you wonder, why haven't you won yet? Well, first, your parents didn't do the necessary steps to continue the momentum to pass down to you, but that's not their fault. They didn't have the winning strategy. You do now. So the real decision is, what will you provide your children? What will you leave as your legacy? That's why Rockefeller didn't just care about oil profits. He built a monopoly, one that survived his death. And it's where the board game Monopoly inspires itself from. Think why Apple didn't just stop at selling iPhones. It sold a system that you can't escape. Airdropping things from device to device, just like on my iPad. Copying a text on one device and pasting it on the next. Sharing photos through the iCloud. Having your text messages and contacts synced between devices. You become integrated. Poor people fight finite battles. Rich people build infinite games. And the ultimate hack, you don't just win infinite games by playing harder. You win by redesigning the rules to be in your favor. Look at politics. Look at the government. Look at how the rich play the political stance. The poor fight over the pot. The rich build a casino that holds it. Think about that sentence. Now let's talk about ALTURA. ALTURA isn't a Discord group. That may be the platform it's hosted on for now, but that's not what it is. ALTURA is a syndicate. It is a private network. It's not as secretive as the Illuminati, nor is it controlling the world in negative ways like the Illuminati may be or may not be. ALTURA is a private class of the future wealth. It's the Robin Hood of the modern digital technical age. It's a system designed with game theory at its core. And I'm talking about you. I'm looking in the camera. I'm talking about the person that may be sitting on the couch after a long day at work. Somebody that got home from school, that's trying to be successful in a business, that hasn't made it yet, and is frustrated with the way that a few people control everything in our society. That's frustrated about the fact that they've tried several business ideas, several hustles, and can never break free. I'm here to tell you that some of it may be your fault. That's not the case, most likely. What's most likely happening is that you've been taken advantage of. You've been promised a life and then never shown how to get it. Never given the resources to help you get there. And most importantly, told that you weren't good enough. Maybe by your parents, maybe by your friends, the school system, your employer, or by the rich themselves. This is how we stand out. And this is why we're different from any NFT project to ever exist, any simple ape picture on a token, any private Discord community, any social media page, any country club, whatever you'd like to call us. Aligned incentives. In most systems, the player loses, like in the casino, while the institution wins. Banks profit when you're in debt. Corporations profit when you're distracted. In ALTURA, when you win, the circle wins. And when the circle wins, you get bigger. That's a positive sum game design. I'm gonna explain this real quick. When you mint an NFT, when you join in the link that's attached to this video to my account, and you hop in the movement, you can potentially get free NFTs for being early. The money that's minted when you buy these NFTs and invest in our project to potentially resell your tokens at a 10x profit or higher, that money goes into a pool of funds, into a private wallet. That wallet is sent offshore, where we'll be holding it and using it just for you, where no government entity, where no private group with private interests can put their hands on it and take it away from us. That money is going to be used to build you. You guys, the holders, are going to come forward with business ideas, AI, tech, software, podcasts, medias, manufacturing, whatever it may be. You're going to pitch your idea to the community, not to me, not to a Shark Tank of oligarchs, to everyone. The community is going to vote on whether or not they like your idea, whether or not your idea has utility, not just to the world, but to them. You're going to get feedback. You're going to learn how to improve your idea. And either in that moment or maybe a future one, you will get money. Could be $5,000. It could be 200 grand. Put into your bank account. ALTURA, the collection, the group, the movement, is going to be the co-signer on your operating agreement. We're going to partner with you in your business. Where not only will we get to benefit each other and help you with the funding for it, our members inside of ALTURA that vote will get to use your software. They'll get to benefit from the products you're making, the change you're having in the world, and the technology that you're bringing into our private group before it's ever live. You're benefiting from getting advisors like myself, like the other holders who are entrepreneurs, who have similar interests that maybe want to partner up with you on your company, and you're guaranteed to win because you're not just in it alone. So on those days when you can't solve a problem, there's other people that have invested money that is going toward your project, that care as much as you do, because their name is on the project just as much as yours is, because they are inside of ALTURA. And ALTURA is an owner of your project. We work together. We win because we have the answers that one person alone doesn't. And we can compete with the biggest companies, the corporations in the world, and take them down because of it. The ones that control your food, your diet, your exercise, your sleep, your technology, your media, your distraction, your dopamine, everything about your life. You get that power back. Iterated cooperation, not just once, but constantly, as we've learned from game theory. Everyone outside plays short-term betrayal. You have to. It's in your best interest. Thinking logically, you shouldn't help anybody. Life's not like that. And in ALTURA, it's structured like an infinite game. Ventures, tools, resources that compound over years. Trust builds, access compounds. As you gain access to new softwares, because you've invested your money and your time to help grow these ideas, ALTURA has invested its money into your companies. And we prove time and time again that ALTURA is pumping out successful businesses that can take down Microsoft, that can take down massive successful advertising agencies, that can take down media companies, that can compete and win. Every time we do that, your trust in the project grows. We go generate more revenue. We produce that back into the economy of our members and help more of you win. That brings more people into the movement. It increases the value of your tokens and it makes people want your tokens more. You buy your token for 1/10 of an Ethereum, $400. You resell it for 15 Ethereum, very realistically, $100,000 almost in real money. Skin in the game. Number 3, buying into ALTURA isn't just owning an NFT. It's burning the boats. It's saying, I'm here to build with this circle, not half step my way out of mediocrity or through mediocrity. Skin in the game forces you to play differently. I found this with my coaching clients. That's why I always require a payment before I start helping them. Even though I try to give free advice, none of the true impact starts until that paycheck's collected. It's not for me. I know psychologically, you guys won't give a shit and you won't care about helping other people's projects unless you invest money, because that's what you have. That's the thing that you hold on to dearly right now. I don't hold on to money dearly, and that's why it comes to me. It's like a girl, cat, I don't know, those things in life that you can't force into your comfort zone. Things that are reserved, but selective about who they choose. Money's the same way. If you don't push it, money comes to you. But too many of you clench onto your money with everything that you have and you won't let it go. And therefore it never comes your way. I'm gonna show you guys how to let go of it. I'm gonna make you commit with money to show you how to put your money into things that matter. And then once you're in and you're holding in a ALTURA token, that will be worth $100,000 eventually, you guys get access to all the systems that will make you 30 times your initial investment very quickly, based on the technology, the tools, the education, the resources, the in-person meetups, the community fund, the attention, and the status, the celebrity endorsed status that we'll have. Because there's more to life than just clenching $400. There's opportunity. And when you cooperate in the long run, which I'm about to prove through real world game theory, through your trust in other people, and redefining that in a world that doesn't believe in trust anymore, we're gonna beat everybody else. Because I'm gonna tell you something. When tit for tat was studied, when the winners were studied, and the trend was found that the most cooperative systems tend to win in the long run, do you know what the researchers tried? They simulated multiple environments. One of these environments included a series of a cluster of a few very friendly bots that would compete with each other in a web of much larger hostile. When the bots that worked together and were more cooperative got more chances to compete with one another than in the hostile environment, those bots survived. They duplicated, and they eventually became the majority. As they won out games and kicked out losers, they took over. The ones that had the most faith changed the entire course of the simulated environment, of, in this case, the world that it was in, proving to us that companies that cooperate survive in the market. Countries that cooperate survive in the global ecosystem. And most importantly, movements that cooperate change everything entirely. This leads us to number 4. Skin in the game leads to network effects. In game theory, when you trust each other, the most powerful strategy is one that becomes stronger, more people adopt it, as I've just said. That is ALTURA, because every builder who joins, and as you join, you multiply resources for the others. It's very clear that when you hit the cooperate button instead of the defer button, right? Instead of saying, I'm going to choose to keep my $400 to myself and not invest it in an NFT, most of the time you gain in the temporary, but in multiple iterations of going back to work on your business day by day, opening your phone and seeing ALTURA win, and seeing the 8,000 NFTs sell out in the private membership and those who are inside gain massive value, change the course of the world, because we will be working together and you won't be. You're going to have regret, because although you will win in the short term in that iteration, as I've said, in the long run, day by day, the good systems win. And you're not choosing to cooperate. You're choosing to defer. You're choosing to detest the system and not cooperate by keeping your money and not committing yourself to something bigger. I've done that. I've been selfish. I've held on to resources when being good, when taking a chance has always led to something better, especially when it's positive, as I've shown you from the systems that win. That's ALTURA. Every builder who joins helps one another. There's more talent, there's more tools, there's more funding, and more chances for the next AI system, the next company to show up in front of your face that needs a partner full of other people that have already proven their ability to cooperate. And you can join one of those teams inside ALTURA and be part of the next multi-million-dollar company. I believe that because I've done it. And so can you guys. This isn't theory, it's just math. I like math. I'm an engineer. ALTURA is a prisoner's dilemma flipped on its head. Instead of betraying for scraps, we cooperate and print empires. ALTURA is proof that if you design the rules right, cooperation beats competition every single time. And if you don't believe me, go back and read that Michigan study on the computers. Here's the reality check most people will never face. You are already in a game. The success you have in life is based on your ability to cooperate, be nice, to cooperate, and to retaliate. The three things that have the greatest impact and decide who wins and loses. You're not just the ones setting the rules. It's the people that have already won. You're playing from a losing advantage, and therefore everything that I just said needs to be in your favor. You have to cooperate. You have to be nice, as much as you may not want to, as much as you've been hurt. You need to have trust again. And this is the moment where you prove that people can do that. I'm here speaking to you with my public face, my government name, putting myself into the world, showing you that I can trust you guys to believe in this movement as much as I do. And therefore, when humans work together, it's the one thing that Fortune 500 companies don't have, because they don't have souls, consciousness. They're just names on a piece of paper filed in a registry somewhere, and why humanity will always win. ALTURA is proof that you design the rules right, competition will always win. Banks set the rules, governments set the rules, corporations set the rules. If you're just another player in their game, you're already lost. ALTURA is about flipping the table entirely, about taking the bad and making it good, about being the Robin Hood, ethically, legally, and responsibly. It's about designing a game where retreat isn't possible, because you're in the game. There's no backing out. Whether you like it or not, life will kick your ass if you choose to not play. Cooperation is the dominant strategy as science, math, and I am telling you, the reward isn't scraps, it's sovereignty. It's the next business idea, the next technology that you get to have for free that only our members get to have. It's the 20 Ethereum value of your NFT that you bought for 1/20th of an Ethereum for $300 to $400, turning that into $100,000 in value, because we believe in the project. We sell out. The value of our minimum floor price NFT goes up, and people want to be in the project. And we don't put out more tokens because we don't need to, because all of the talent stays inside. It's private. You've invested early and proved that. That's why this isn't optional. This has to be done. And if I didn't do it, someone else will, under a different name, maybe a different face, and definitely a different strategy and setup. You either play finite games for someone else's scoreboard, which you are, clocking into a job, going to a school system, believing what you're supposed to, or you step into the infinite one that we're building, because that's the most real thing you'll ever hear. So I'll ask you this one question, and I'm going to let you sit with it. Are you still fighting over scraps in someone else's casino, or are you ready to build the next house with us?